Do we as youths have the right to tell people who are older than us our ideas and opinions? Ahmed bin Abdul Aziz was the new crown prince of Egypt in 720 AD. Many people came to congratulate the new crown prince and even give suggestions to improve the country. There was a boy who stepped forth to say something. However, the crown prince ignored him and asked if there was anyone older who would like to say something. The boy then spoke on his own and said, "One only has a heart and a tongue. And if God granted humans tongues and hearts, then they deserve to speak and to be heard. And, O Crown Prince, if we were to abide by the logic that you have just demonstrated, then there are many elders in this nation who are more deserving of your position than you." My point is that many adults do not take youths seriously or believe that we are capable of doing or thinking great things. It is a major belief that the older the person is, the wiser. But is that really true? Doesn't every person think differently? Doesn't every person experience different things according to their family, friends, environment, etc.? When I was reading that story, I thought, you really cannot underestimate the mind of the youth, which is true. Try having a conversation with someone much younger than you, maybe a third or fourth grader, and ask them a question like, if you could invent something, what would it be and why? And let me tell you, you would be surprised by the amount of creativity they have. I experienced it firsthand when we were doing our Group 4 projects. We were put into groups of 6 and had to come up with an experiment regarding urban planning and had to connect it to the 4 major sciences: computer science, physics, chemistry, biology. You get the idea. We had to create posters that explained our research and experiment and had to present them in the school lobby. And because these presentations were open to anyone, many elementary grade students came to listen to these presentations. These kids came and started asking my group and I questions that I didn't even expect them to ask, which shows that even youths are underestimating youths and their ability. Our experiment revolved around wind turbines. And they asked us questions like, how do wind turbines work? Do wind turbines use motors? How did the inventor of the wind turbine come up with the idea? And can wind turbines possibly harm the environment? And if you want to get an idea of how young they were, I had to bend down here to be able to speak to them at eye level. Now, if a youth is discussing an issue with an adult and the youth says something that is wrong, I personally think that it is okay due to the fact that the adult can challenge the youth's mind with his or her opinion. And this forces youths to not think in a biased way. But yet again, not all youths think the same way. Not all of them are taught to share their ideas and think outside the box. Which leads me to ask, do youths have the right to tell people who are older than us our ideas and opinions? Do I, as a 17-year-old, have the right to be up here right now, telling you who have more experiences than me, who may be more knowledgeable than me in some aspects? Do I have the right to tell you who may have degrees, even though school education should not determine how smart a person is, my ideas and opinions? How do we know that you're actually listening to what we have to say? How do we know that you're not just intrigued by our age, that it's not all about the cameras? Do adults pay more attention to teenage speakers who are more enthusiastic and lively rather than those who are shy? But what if those who are shy have amazing ideas? How do we get them to express themselves? 2 words: youth empowerment. We should get rid of the stereotype that the older the person is, the wiser, because that is not always the case. Everyone experiences different things in different ways, and lived in different environments. Some could have lived in the countryside, while others in the cities. Every family or set of parents teach their kids in different ways. And what about the time period youths are living in right now? We are living in a world where everything around us is advancing, and we have adapted to that. We should constantly support and encourage youths to speak out against global issues and let them provide their perspectives. We should challenge them to think critically through different lenses. For example, in English class, we have many debates, or Socratic seminars as we call it, where we discuss our opinions and justify our reasoning. And one big debate that I can recall was about the book, The Lord of the Flies, and the theme of leadership. Now, what happens in the book is that a great number of boys get stuck on an island, and there are 2 characters, Ralph and Jack, that try to lead the group of boys. Ralph relies on civilization and rules, whereas Jack rules with fear and does fun things to appeal to the boys. However, the boys that he was in charge of transformed into complete savages. So we debated which leader or leadership style was better, relying on rules or ruling with fear. And discussions like these gives us youths a broader perspective on life and the decisions we make in it. If the youths of this generation are not taught to speak out and to share their opinions and ideas, then our future is at risk, because children are in fact the future. Many people do not change their habits as they get older. If someone is used to relying on someone else to constantly take charge and be the leader, then he or she will most likely be like that all of his or her life. Which is why if we encourage youths to share their opinions and ideas and let them know that they are important, I truly believe that we can achieve great things. We can come up with more ideas, see things in different perspectives, and strengthen youth's confidence in speaking out. Also, the importance of issues can be emphasized through youth empowerment. For example, during the March for Our Lives event that took place in the US, many people spoke out against the use of guns. And an article from The Guardian showed a brief video of the event with a few speeches. Every speaker in that video was a youth, even as young as 9 years old. And when we see youth speaking out against major issues like gun violence, it makes us realize how big of an issue it is. It brings about a realization to adults that youths do understand that these issues exist, that they have opinions on them, and that they could even have solutions to them. Empowering youths is the next big step that society needs to take, that we all need to take. Promoting youths to share their opinions and ideas and challenging their way of thinking are ways that will really push us forward. Youth empowerment will lead to a more mature generation in the future that will hopefully guide society in the right direction. Thank you.